Congrats. Congrats. Look, there is nothing better in life than when someone proves people wrong. One of the best things in life, one of the best feelings in life is you thought I was crap, you thought I was a brick, thought I was a loser, but I came through and I said, what's up? I came through and I said, F you. I came through and I actually shut everyone up. And the best thing is, I think even Rio Ferdinand has even been one of the ones that said, look, I got it all wrong on Ighalo. And you see, for me, I didn't think Ighalo would have this kind of impact. I just hoped that okay, maybe he scores 1 or 2 goals. I didn't know he would score these amounts of goals and he would score a contender for goal of the season. I didn't think that he would fit in so well in the Man United system. I didn't see that happening. I did not. And look, man, I've always said good things about Ighalo. Ighalo is in the team because he's friends with someone. Always said good things about Ighalo. Always have. There is no way I have ever come and said anything bad about Ighalo. Ighalo has always been forefront in my mind as a lovely, lovely fellow. At their age, they're better than Ighalo. Experience doesn't mean anything if he can't score a simple chance. Ighalo had 2 amazing chances. He flopped them both. And I totally have always been 100% behind him. I'm giving Ighalo a scholarship in the Brick Academy. And as a Nigerian, this makes me so happy to see what he's been able to do. Because look, let's even break it down. I think for Man United have definitely been if you think about it now, the last time United had a quality striker, the last time that United had a really good quality striker, just a striker, it's probably Van Persie. That's probably Van Persie. And we all know what happened because pretty much Van Persie moved from Arsenal to United to win a league. We all know what happened. And I believe that was in, was that 2011, 2012? So someone give me a fact check. But that was the last season before Ferguson said bye-bye was when Van Persie, went crazy. And I think he scored that insane goal against Aston Villa or something. So that was the last time United have had a truly great striker. And when you look at the landscape of everything, because first of all, I'll go to the whole things about a striker. But first of all, you look at when they brought in Martial. Now, you see, the thing about Martial is not what I would call an out-and-out striker. He's a supremely talented player. Technically, he's brilliant. But I do feel that his strongest position is like an inside forward or a wide forward. Or if you want to play him as a striker, you've got to play him in a 2. So obviously when he came in, he made a huge, massive impact. But I think, Van Gaal knew how to use him. So that's when you always have to be very wary that and understand that how a player does well for a period and then does not do well for a period. You have to understand who was this player bought by. Because there's a reason why this player was bought. Because managers don't buy players because they're good. They buy players, but obviously they're good, that's the standard thing, but they fit into their system, they fit into their way of playing. So once, let's say, a Mourinho comes in who has a drastically different philosophy from Van Gaal, then maybe Martial doesn't fit into what he wants. Because remember, Van Gaal is all about keeping hold of the ball, passing, and his thesis and his theorem is based on passing, and it's pass-based. Maybe not as obsessive as tiki-taka, but it's still very much pass-based. But for Mourinho, it's much more about pragmatism. I don't want to do all these passes. It's much more pragmatic. So maybe that's where Martial didn't fully fit in as well as he did under your boy LVG. So that was there. And then he now looked at your boy Lukaku. And the thing about Lukaku is a really good striker. He's a really good striker that maybe just needed the right setup. And I think maybe the right environment, the right setup is Inter Milan. So Lukaku will never be a tier 1 striker. He'll never be a tier 1 striker. But I think at his best, Lukaku can say what's up to upper tier 2. He can say at his best, he can definitely say what's up to an upper tier 2 ranking. But the United setup and that system maybe didn't really fit him. Because Lukaku is a very particular kind of striker. And I think he's such a particular kind of striker. He's a striker that I still think he can do well in various teams, but I do feel if you want to get the best out of Lukaku, you have to have a very specific setup. And I think maybe the setup that Conte has that is very, very rigid and very, very specific, far more specific than the one they have at United under Ole. It's maybe why he's perhaps doing so well, especially how he's working off a Lautaro Martinez. So, and again, when you look at a Rashford and even like a Martial, these guys are not out and out strikers. Like the new striker is of course the inside forward. That's how the striker has evolved. But being the striker that plays in the center and within the restriction of like the 18-yard box or just outside of the 18-yard box is very different from the inside forward who has all the space of the width and has a lot more room and a far wider area to pretty much have an effect. But again, you need to be a specialist there. So obviously, if you put a Salah, you put a Bale in the middle as a striker, they won't work. But then Cristiano is one of those rare guys that can be working on all those positions. So I think you say to yourself that how did Ighalo work? I think it's twofold. It's twofold of how Ighalo worked. I think in one sense, basically you can look at the mental and the physical. Let's deal with the physical first. I think in the physical, Ighalo is the perfect kind of striker for what Ole wants. Because again, all right, he doesn't have the speed. He can't get onto through balls. But what Ighalo has is that he's got really good ball control. Like that's something that he's always had. Now, ball control in and of itself is not going to make you effective, but it's a good place to start. So like his ball control is very good and he's very much technical because he's not very fast or very quick, he has very much rely on his technical skills. So sometimes the frustration can be like, come on, move it quicker, go quicker. Like he may be a bit too slow and too rigid. So if you think about it, he is the perfect person to play that role of being the striker in the middle. I always say like the totem pole. So the speed and the fluidity of a Martial, of a Daniel James, of a Rashford and so forth are great moving pieces around his more rigid piece that is inside that 18-yard box. But so that is the physical there where it's because if you put a Martial there or a Rashford there, guys who are much more fluid and want to move more, they wouldn't work too well. Because again, you don't want a guy that keeps on drifting and drifting. So the thing, you have to have know-how of playing with your back to goal, knowing how to walk the very tight line. Because remember, it's in the center of the pitch. It's condensed. You now have to go up against, especially if you're the lone striker, going up against two central the defenders, and there's a lot of patience involved. The patience involved in that position is key because you have to have discipline. It is paramount that you always have to keep occupying there. So whereas let's say you play like a Rashford or a Martial who may be suited to wanting the ball, getting dribbles, always making things happen and always being active, they will grow frustrated if you put them in that position. But for a Ighalo who is used to being there and used to knowing that, okay, look, it's a lonely job. It requires a lot of patience and a lot of focus because the chance will come. And when that chance comes, you can't force the issue. You have to let that chance come to you. When that chance comes, you're now going to be able to go awake and say what's up. Just like his goal against Lask. Chance came, he knew that boom, I'm not going to have these many kind of openings and this. I will not have many opportunities with this kind of space in this position. So once that chance comes, I've got to take it. Those are guys who have the experience and the know-how of playing in that position. But the second concept is the mental. So I do believe that, of course, if you're for Watford, you want to do well for Watford. Of course, if Nigeria wants to do well for Nigeria. But so you can even break the mental in two forms. In one form, it's, wow, this is Man United. This is a club that I've really supported. This is a really big deal for me. And because it's a big deal for me, I'm going to try even harder. Because it's Old Trafford and they have this heritage and this history, I'm going to even give much more of a greater effort. There is a massive thing to be said of a player going in, playing for their boyhood club or playing for a club that they supported. That's mental, 100%, because don't give me that crap of, if you're a professional, you will give the same amount of effort for every team. No. If a team means something to you, you will give more effort for that team than other teams. Simple as that. But for other clubs, they're merely just your employer. You can kiss the badge and everything, they're your employer. But for clubs that mean a lot to you, that you actually grew up supporting, there's more. There's a closer affinity and a desire there. But the second part of the psychological is what people were saying. What the media was saying, 100% Ighalo knew that. They were like, who is this dude from Watford? Look at this World Cup flop. I mean, what's this guy going to do? This guy's a waste. So he took all that stuff in like a spawn and was like, all right. And there is no, I don't believe there's a greater motivator than proving people wrong. There isn't. And there is no sweeter feeling when you've proved people wrong. Because obviously, when you look at Ighalo and everything, people like, thank God and everything, and he's very humble and so forth. In private, he's like, I proved you Morphos wrong. I proved you flipping Morphos wrong, including you, HH. I proved you Morphos wrong. So, I do, and I've always said, like, look, for United, I'm like, I said, at least look into signing him. Look into signing him. Because he's a useful player to have. Because again, in this world where you're just trying to look for strikers and so forth, remember the game's changed. You don't need that 30G striker in the traditional sense of the word. Because Salah is getting 30 GGs and so forth, but he's the striker, he's the inside forward. But you just need is a striker who knows how to play that role and that position well. So it is not a need for that. If you're the striker in the striker role, I must get 30 goals from you. You could get 15 here, 15 here, another 10 here, 7 here. Boom. Those are your goals for the season. So I really do hope that they close this deal, they buy him, and your boy Ighalo can really say what's up. So Ighalo, congrats, bro. Become a Football Hut member and gain access to cool emojis on the live streams and get access to new YouTube content by clicking the join button here. And to view that new content, head over to the YouTube channel homepage and click on the community tab over here.